I've been in SMCI for quite some time. I got out when it turned somewhere after March 8th of 2024. But then something has happened more recently that caused me to look back and say, is this an opportunity to buy in? Back on August the 22nd, 2024, the Hindenburg research released what they called a short report. Now, that has nothing to do with the length of the report. It has to do with the fact that they sold off the stock in anticipation that the stock was going to go down further. And then when it went down further, they would buy in and make the difference in profits. And so I looked at that and said, is this authentic? Is it real? Or is this an opportunity to buy back into Supermicro? Because I think Supermicro has a tremendous amount of support from NVIDIA. They make a phenomenal product from everything I read. They assemble the parts that go with the NVIDIA chips and then create the servers that are going into these accelerated serving data centers. So they had a good run up. You can see it on this chart here. They had a fantastic run up. As I say, till March the 8th, 2024. They got up to 1229, and then they had a turn down. And if you run a Fibonacci retracement on it, they actually came down to the 78.2% pullback, and then this report from Hindenburg came out on August the 28th, and it went down further. What is this report all about? Well, I thought it was interesting, and so I spent some time reading the report, analyzing it. The crux of the report is under a title of Undisclosed Related Party Transactions, a Web of Family Ties. What that's referring to is that the CEO of SMCI has set up a series of businesses between his brothers and his cousins to supply Supermicro with components that go into these servers, and he buys them at a discounted price. And he didn't disclose that to the SEC, and therefore they're saying this is undisclosed information, and so they should be fined and maybe delisted or whatever. So I have an assembly plant where I put together the parts from NVIDIA and other suppliers to make servers, but I need other parts on a regular basis. So I set my family up in business to make those parts and then sell them to me at a discounted price so that my margins are higher when I turn around and sell them to Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. Is that just good business? And do I have to disclose that I have set that up to make me more profitable? I guess you do, but is it a mortal sin? I don't think so. So I look at that part of the report, the Hindenburg report, and say, I think that's just fluff that really doesn't make any sense. It sounds to me like smart business. That's what it sounds like to me. So then there's another part of the report that says that they have engaged in setting up a network whereby they sell products or servers to Russia. Now, there is no substantiation of it whatsoever. They have had no one come up and say, yes, I was told to buy these products and run them through different channels and then end up selling them in Russia. And yes, SMCI and the CEO and the executives of SMCI are all behind that. I've seen nothing like that. Hindenburg offers no proof of that, just accusations. So here I see, and again, you must understand what the purpose of the Hindenburg research is, to find dirt on any company, publish a long, drawn-out report substantiating that dirt, going before you release the report and selling short the stock, And then when the market gets your report and reacts by selling, it pushes the price down. And since you already sold it up here and now you buy it down here, you make the difference. Sounds a little bit crooked to me, but it's a fact, and that's what it is. So with that in mind, what do I do relative to SMCI? Is it a bargain? Where it is now, currently selling at $456 a share. Look here, you'll see Zacks, still, this is as of today, its lowest price is $325. Its highest price, anticipated price in the next year is $1,500, but its average price by Wall Street analyst is $819. This is the conclusion of 14 analysts that Zacks has access to. Now, I have done my study on Supermicro based on its current price, and here I can show you a strip that I took out of my cheat sheet where I'm showing the current price, the market cap, the PE ratio currently at 22.71, which is down substantially. I'm showing a target buy price. I think it has some additional bad press towards it, and the overall trend right now is down. I have a buy price of $425, but I project by the end of the year it will be at $551. Wall Street's, again, is average price is $819.07. I'm then saying, based on its projected earnings and its historical PE ratio, it's going to finish 2025 at a price of $724.80, and then it will finish 2026 at a price of $904.73. So that's how I look at it, and I see. But what am I going to do now? I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to watch the chart. I see that the 9-day moving average, where that is, that's the blue line on that chart. When it crosses there, and then when the MACD turns up and the Scholastic turns up, that's where I'll buy. And that's where I will show and notify my followers on my cheat sheet where I think SMCI is. In summary, I think this has a whole lot to do with nothing relative to the Hindenburg report. I think it's profit making on their part, and as long as it's legal and they can substantiate. Again, why would you be down on a company who builds within its family offshore suppliers who give you a good price because you put them in business? What's wrong with that? I mean, that's why Apple makes its phones in India and China. That's why my Nike shoes are made in China, because labor is cheaper, because costs are cheaper, and they can buy them cheaper than and ship them over here than they can make them in the United States. This is nonsense as far as I'm concerned. But yet, I want to emphasize, I'm not ready to buy SMCI just yet. I want the charts to tell me now is the time to buy. All this fervor, all this negative has blown over. We're over the 9-day moving average. We're moving up towards the 50-day, and now's the time to buy. That's how I buy stocks. I recognize when the turn has gone down, unless it's a depressed stock. I own some depressed stocks that I'm down on, but I recognize that our world is going through a monstrous change. I watched an interview with Elon Musk, and I think he summed it up pretty well, that in the future, there are going to be more robots than there are human beings. You'll have a robot, and that robot let's use my shoes as an example. I buy Nike shoes. I have for years. This is what I'm wearing right now. The most expensive element of this shoe, getting this shoe out of China to me, is human beings. So the person who puts this together is a human being. If we replace her with a robot, we reduce the cost. Then somebody shows up at the factory in a truck and picks these up and takes them to the dock to be shipped. If the robot is driving the truck, if a robot is driving the ship, and then the same thing happens on the other side, and that this shoe is delivered to me from Amazon or from Nike, and it's delivered by a robot, then the only cost in this shoe is materials, no labor, no human being involved. If you do that with an egg, the only thing involved in the egg is the chicken. The farmer's not involved. He's got a robot. The guy who comes and picks the eggs up, it's a robot. If all you have involved in any product is the materials that put it together and everything else is done with robots who are driven by artificial intelligence, it's not inflation, it's deflation. We will have everything that we want at a discounted price. Anything and everything that you do will be done by a robot. So our society we'll all be retired and we won't be making videos. That's the world I see in the future. The question is, how am I going to make money with this little bit of knowledge that I just shared with you as we move forward? How am I going to make money? By investing in the companies that are going to make these shoes a fifth, 25% of the price they are now, because there is no human activity involved in them. Okay, that's my big takeaway for you today. If you want to be exposed to more thinking like this, come to Best of Us Investors and get on the bus, and let's share our knowledge together. I'll talk to you again tomorrow.